Hello and welcome to Smarter Mobility Africa News. My name is Anazi, and today joining me is Brian Muyomba. He is the transport and logistics consultant with 11 years of experience, and he's also a lecturer at the Makerere University Business School, known as MUBS, and he's also the former head of the MUBS Department of Transport and Logistics. So, welcome, Brian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Anazi, for this opportunity. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you here with us, Brian. And we're very much looking forward to this interview and also having you as Smarter Mobility Africa. So let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the future. So the theme for Smarter Mobility Africa this year is embracing the new urban era through smarter mobility. We want to know, what does that vision look like for you?
I think that is one quite ambitious thing, but I believe it is something that can be done. Um, the the environment is changing very, very fast, and if we do not do something about it, I think we shall blame ourselves. Because there's rapid urbanization, there's all these environmental concerns, and we can't simply sit and look. I think we have tried as a humanity to try and come up with various interventions so that the future maybe is better for those who will be there. Um, yeah, so we're on the right path, quite ambitious, but we're on the right path.
I couldn't agree with you more. We're definitely on the right path. And you speak of interventions. Can you just expand for me? What are those interventions? What are those innovations in Africa's mobility sector?
Um, of course, Africa has a few challenges here and there, but in terms of in interventions, I think a lot of knowledge, a lot of knowledge sharing is going on. Right now, majority of the people know something about climate change, know about maybe hybrid cars, all these environmental concerns. The issue now is in the actualization, with some countries, of course, moving fast ahead of others, and then others are trying to really fight and get somewhere. So you'll find in countries like Morocco, they have these rapid, very fast trains. In South Africa, they have. When you come to our part of the world, we are still trying to implement um, the electric cars, the EVs. Governments are trying to subsidize or to remove the taxes on importation. In my country, there is even a plant. They are trying to manufacture the cars locally so that they are a bit cheaper. So there are quite many that are coming on. Other people are trying to experiment with different sources of propulsion. Of course, the EVs are there, but others are considering hydrogen and all other cleaner energy kinds of sources, apart from the fossil fuels. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot is going into your part of the world, in the East African region. I know um, we're looking towards you guys to basically transition and also to just have more sustainable practices around mobility. Yeah, and having said that, we definitely have some unique challenges to achieving smarter mobility, particularly in this continent. In your opinion, what do you see as the biggest roadblock, and how can we work together to address that roadblock?
I think the biggest roadblock is mindset. Um, Mindset, because two things: the cost and also the feasibility of the technology. Because when you have people who have used something for quite some time and they are used to it, it is very hard to change them from what they know. So that becomes a challenge of the mindset. But two, even if they wanted, the cost of changing is also a bit high. To tell me to leave my diesel powered car or truck or bus to opt for a solar one, the solar one is expensive. And two, I have not used it for some time. I can't be certain that maybe it will move from uh, Arusha to Dar es Salaam without having any issues. So the mindset is the biggest challenge, and if you want to deal with that challenge to allow people to change, then I think whoever is in the business, whoever is a stakeholder, should try, one, to lower the cost of the interventions, two, to try and explain the bigger benefits, so that whoever is trying to adopt them maybe can find it a little bit easier on them. Yeah. So the biggest
Certainly.
challenge is on the mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And cost is another big one that you mentioned. And it's probably going to be a common thread throughout our Smarter Mobility Africa conference in October, and definitely one that I'm sure you'll be addressing as well
Yeah.
throughout your
Yeah.
presentation. So, speaking about your presentation, you're going to be speaking on the transport and logistics within public transport. What's the one key takeaway that you want people to get out of your presentation?
I think the still it goes back to the mindset, that this is possible, because in my presentation, one of the key things that I'm talking about are the different countries where these interventions have worked, where they started small and grew to some level, because you'll not start from, you have to start from somewhere. You'll not just hope. So the key takeaway is that it is possible, uh, even with small interventions, with small costs, with low funding, you can still do something. That is my key takeaway in my presentation. As I'll give different case studies from different parts of the world to try and demonstrate that um, urban smarter mobility is possible. Uh, there are cities like Curitiba in Brazil, or in China or in Japan and in Singapore, where these have actually worked. Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Okay. Well, don't give away too much, but yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to be a very interesting topic.
Mm, mm.
Okay, without giving away too much, I have to ask, out of those case studies, which are the countries or organizations that stand out the most to you? Like ones that we need to look out for?
Organizations in terms of like car manufacturers, or the advocacy groups.
Yeah, like who are like the big hitters or the heavy hitters that we need to watch out for, who might have an influence, on changing mobility in
Of
Africa?
course, of course, the first one is Smarter Mobility Africa. I think they are doing some great work. I've seen some kind of challenge. Before
Mm.
actually having this interview, someone sent me a message. A colleague in my university, she's studying in the University of Dar es Salaam, and she was telling me, I'm coming for this big conference and my PhD class is participating. So I think the reach of smarter mobility is being felt. What you're doing is being felt, and I could only
Mhm.
encourage you guys to go on with what you're doing. I think it's very great work.
Oh wow, thank you. We, we,
Yeah.
we did not plan this for anyone who thinks that
No,
we
no, no, no,
spoon
no.
fed Brian.
Yeah.
Brian said this by himself.
No, no. There are others, maybe like the African Union, or the United Nations, trying with the SDGs. But in terms of the African continent, and trying to ensure that, I think we normally say African solutions for African problems, because you go to all these places, and for example, a few months ago, I was in China and they were talking about blue hydrogen. And we can't talk about blue hydrogen as a source of propulsion or as a fuel in Africa. We are not yet there. So we need more of the groups like Smarter Mobility Africa, which can really bring the African context to it. Otherwise, we can come up with solutions which we can't really implement in Africa, which are beyond our reach. So it's better to talk about like in Uganda, the border borders or the daladalas or these small carriers, the tuk-tuks in Kenya. I think those are more African and how we can deal with them.
Basically, African solutions for Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur with that. So aside from your presentation and the expertise that obviously you'll be giving at the event, are there any other sessions that stand out to you or ones that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I think I'm excited on the session about funding. I think that is one area that is very critical because, like I said, it is easy to have the dream, but where to get this money is also something else. To be able to provide subsidies, it means government is losing revenue. Most of the governments actually earn a lot of revenue from the taxes on petroleum or diesel, and it's like you're biting the very hand that is feeding you. So governments have to find alternative ways of funding these initiatives, of trying to be green. So it will be, I would be excited to hear about the different approaches. Maybe I would expect the PPPs or grants. I don't know what the different presenters will be talking about, but I would want to hear about where is the money going to come from to fund these very beautiful things.
No, as they say, numbers don't lie and money talks. So I'm also actually interested to find out where all this money is going to be coming from. Brian, so tell me, if someone wanted to get involved in this mobility sector, what's the one advice you'd be giving to them?
I think they should go for it. Do some benchmarking. Um, in Africa, in many parts of Africa, we are so interested in road transport. I don't know why. Maybe it's what people are used to, but I would encourage people to try out the other modes of transport. They are perhaps more environmentally friendly. Most of them are faster, and also the use of technology. As you go into the mobility space, you need to really look out for the technologies that are going to help you. Um, so yeah, you go for it. Look for technologies that will help, and also consider other modes of transport. It shouldn't be road all the time. Uh, let us use drones. Let us use rail. Let us use water, and try to avoid the road as much as possible. Yeah.
No, I certainly agree with you there. And we're definitely going to be discussing all these options. So if you were to leave our audience with one parting shot, what would that be?
My parting shot is um, if you can really be there for the conference on 2nd October, be there, because learning never stops. Development has no limits, and I think this would be good for everyone to learn something, and also to network and to be able to benchmark from those who have done it, and compare where we are as a humanity, and see how we can really improve. It's for the good of everyone. Yeah.
Definitely. And we're very excited this year to be bringing other parts of the region to the conference in person. And thank you so much once again, Brian, for making the time to speak to us today. We're very excited to welcoming you to South Africa.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. That's it for me and for SMA News. So remember, do subscribe to our weekly newsletter and follow us on LinkedIn and other socials. Our hashtag SMA Summit, hashtag SMA for All, and hashtag New Urban Era. Thank you, and we'll be seeing you soon.